We've got a random Sunday off day for the Dodgers, but no off day for all Dodgers. We're previewing the series against the Guardians, which will feature 3 Japanese starting pitchers for the Dodgers. That's kind of interesting. And we'll look at what's going on in the minor leagues. We'll talk about voicemail strategy for the coming season for this show and a whole lot more. We'll hang out in the chat. We'll do all that stuff on this episode of All Dodgers. Coming at you live from my mom's basement in beautiful Pleasant Grove, Utah. This is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Bleav Network of podcasts, brought to you by FanDuel. I am Jeff Snider. You can find me on Twitter as Snydog. And guess what? It's not just me. Sometimes it's just me. Today it's not just me. We've also got that guy next to me from his mom's basement in beautiful La Puerta, California. That is Clint Pasillas. He started this show. I came in and fixed it. And here we are together. Oh man, sometimes you just want to pick on your co-host,
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely your internal monologue, but I'll go through the analytics.
I accidentally said the quiet part out loud, but either way, no, this is great. Like I said, off day for the Dodgers today. Sunday off day is something that shouldn't ever happen, but it's kind of a byproduct of wanting to start the season on a Thursday, because either you put random off days in the middle of the series, which some teams had, or you play all 4-game series, or you have an off day on Sunday. This is 3 years in a row we've had an off day on Sunday. The other 2 years, it was the Sunday leading into the All-Star break, which we might have that again this year. I don't remember for sure. But definitely an off day today. And I don't know, Clint, how did you feel about that off day?
For me personally, it wasn't an off day. I went to my flesh job. I had to deal with things. It was hot. It was gross. And then I came home. And then it became an off day because I jumped in my pool. And then I gave myself a nice lunch of, hey, let's clean a bunch of crap out of the freezer and fridge. So then it became cool. But I do have a Dodgers Sunday off day story because I could recall this was one of their off-season events at Dodger Stadium in 2020, so pre-COVID, and I'm in an elevator with some Dodgers people, including future Hall of Famer Clayton Edward Kershaw, he's just like head down. He doesn't want to be there. He wants nothing to do with what's going on. And like an idiot, I go to make small talk with the people. I think the schedule had been announced not terribly long before or whatever. Anyways, I just asked him, I was like, hey, looking forward to a Sunday off day. And he's like, huh? I was like, never mind. So that's my favorite Sunday. And then the best part is that Sunday off day never happened because they canceled 102 games of that season.
So you caused COVID.
I did. Yeah. I was in, you don't know if I was in Wuhan or not.
We found patient zero. It was Clint's awkward conversation with Clayton Kershaw in an elevator. So.
Conversation, I think, infers it was kind of, I guess it was
awkward monologue. Yeah, he grunted, right?
yeah. That's all we're looking for out of Clayton is a grunt.
Absolutely. Clayton likes talking to people he likes, and then sometimes he has to grunt at Clint. But because there was no game today, there's no game to talk about. And we did a pretty darn good show last night, if I do say so ourselves, recapping the Diamondback series. I don't know that there's that much more to say about that series, but we do have another series starting tomorrow. That's the beauty of the baseball season. The games just keep on coming, and they don't stop coming.
And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. And
yeah, you nailed it. The Cleveland Guardians come to town. And should be a fun series, and just kind of I don't think the Dodgers lined up their rotation this way on purpose, but it does happen to line up that the starting pitchers for the Dodgers in this series will be their 3 Japanese-born starters. Roki Sasaki starts the first game, then Shohei Ohtani, and then Yoshinobu Yamamoto making his second start of the year. We'll wrap things up. At least that's what we assume. I don't know that Yamamoto is set in stone for that game at this point. I would assume the Dodgers aren't going to go with a spot starter or a bullpen game this early in the season with the off day and everything. But, stranger things have happened for sure.
You could spin it. You could probably make a bullpen day happen, but that's going to be purely based on whether or not they need to use Wrobleski in that Roki or in that Shohei start, because that's the most important thing. I think everybody's going to have a very keen eye or three on, and that is going to be Roki's start tomorrow night.
Yeah, Justin Wrobleski is the only member of the bullpen who hasn't pitched yet in this first Diamondback series, because they are keeping him to piggyback one of these next 2 days. Obviously, their hope is that Roki can go out there and give them 5 or 6 innings. And we can all hope that. I don't know that there's anybody who's extremely confident about that. I would guess if we gave some Veritas serum to Dave Roberts and Mark Pryor, that was a Harry Potter reference for those of you who didn't catch that. I assume they would say, yeah, we kind of expect to have to use Robo tomorrow in game 1 of this series. And that would probably rule out the bullpen game if they do have to use Robo.
Yeah, and this is why I really hate this role for Wrobleski, because I mean, there's already whatever. The Dodgers are 3-0. There's very little to complain about. I would like to have him be in a baseball game already. I think he's a really, really killer 1 or 2 inning guy. But for the early parts of the season, much like we saw with Kasparius last year, if he needs to be the guy that give them 2 or 3 innings, so be it for now. As long as he's ready to be a dog and hit Andres Jimenez late in the year next year or this year, then we'll be fine. By the way, do what you will with MLB probables, but Yamamoto is listed for Wednesday against Gavin Williams.
Gavin Williams is an interesting one. He pitches well without doing anything notably well. His underlying number, his FIP, he outperforms his FIP by a ton. I think last year his ERA was just over 3 and his FIP was 4.5. So he led the league in walks last year. I know that.
5.4 ERA so far this year. 7 punchies though in his first start. Yeah, I guess he is considered Cleveland's ace.
A guy who walks a lot of guys, could be a guy who the Dodgers could pick on a little bit, because these Dodgers, they like to take walks a little bit, and maybe that's as good a way as any to jump into this. So we got Gavin Williams. That's the series finale.
6 walks. Hey, 6 walks, 7 strikeouts. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, let's hope that it's 67 walks and 0 strikeouts. I doubt they'd leave him in long enough. Honestly, if he walks 67 guys, they'd probably take him out after the 30th walk. That's, I'm just saying, 67 walks seems unlikely.
Give what's the math? If they walked 67 batters in a row, how many runs is that?
64. Because you'd have the bases loaded. So 67 minus 3 is 64. That's not even hard math, Clint.
Well, I just want to make sure you're being sharp. I wasn't going to put any brain capacity towards it. It's Sunday. Going to get you high.
Tomorrow.
By the way, guys, it is Sunday. Jump into the chat if you guys have things you want us to talk about. It's important that we remind you. This is your show. We're just here hosting it.
Yeah, I will say, Alex Renteria asked, early show, so anticipate a longer show. Not longer the way that some of you might be anticipating a long Sunday show. I would guess no more than 90 minutes, and probably not even that many, because Clint starts getting cranky around 60,
Honestly, my back starts getting cranky. And also me.
Get a better chair. So
I have a nice chair, a big fat boy chair. It's pretty cool. Unless Big Chair wants to sponsor me. Big Chair.
A brand that's just called Big Chair.
Big Chair.
Hey,
yeah.
Our new sponsor, Chairs for Fat Guys.
Hell yeah.
Tomorrow's game, Roki Sasaki against something called Parker Messick, who is a 25-year-old rookie. He pitched a little bit, just under 20 innings last year. Oh, no, that was in spring training. Just under 40 innings for Cleveland last year. So he's barely rookie eligible still. But he was pretty good. He nice. 2.72 ERA. All in all, pretty solid, although he did allow over 10 hits per 9 innings. So average more than a hit per inning. Maybe kind of guy that the Dodgers can pick on. But you know what? You never can tell with these young guys. He was solid in the minors. And Yeah, we don't know anything about Parker Messick. Had you ever heard the name Parker Messick before this episode right now, Clint?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No.
So he went to Florida State. He was probably teammates with, probably not with Jake Mintz, but because he went to Wash U in St. Louis, as you'll remember.
You know, bringing up this random thing you have with Jake Mintz this week.
He was teammates with Dodgers minor leaguer Cam Leiter at Florida State. There you go. Is that better? There's a Dodgers angle.
No, I don't care. Respectfully, of course.
And then on Monday or Tuesday, when Ohtani goes for the Dodgers, the Guardians are throwing out fan favorite TBD.
Yeah.
That's not like stuff. PCA. That's not initials for a person. That is to be determined. The Cleveland Guardians apparently came into the season with 4 starting pitchers. And so I don't know if we're getting a bullpen game or if we're getting a spot starter. Nobody knows at this point. Clint, the Guardians are a weird team. Like they never seem to be trying that hard.
They really don't.
Like as far as front office goes, as far as spending the money that they're making, all those things. And yet they're always a solid team. They are 2-1 this year so far. They've been playing the Mariners. I guess they're playing them right now in the 4th game of that series. So they'll either be 3-1 or 2-2. But it's hard to pick against them. Like when we were doing our season previews and stuff, I'm like, yeah, I kind of assume Cleveland's going to win the division just because, they do have Jose Ramirez, former future Dodger Jose Ramirez, who we all love. And then beyond that, it's just like they just keep figuring out how to win.
Yeah, or at least how to win enough in the AL Central. But, suddenly Detroit got very good. And chances are they're going to be wild card 2 or 3 because they just find a way, even after losing, Clase and the other, like their other setup reliever last year, whose name I don't even care about. They still were good. They still, I think, won the division last year in the Central.
I think they finished tied with the Tigers, and I don't remember which team had the tiebreaker and technically won it. But yeah, they are losing to the Mariners right now and being no hit through 5 innings. They're down 6-0. And I guess I did misspeak because I didn't realize there's a 4-game series with the Mariners. So they do have 5 starters. They just aren't ready to have their top starter start the 6th game of the season. So they have 5 starters and figuring out what to do. They didn't get a day off like the Dodgers did, apparently. So, I'm excited for this series because it's always fun. We only see the Guardians in town every other year, so it's a little bit unique. But all in all, like if it wasn't for the fact that I'm still excited to have Dodger baseball back, I feel like this series would be one we just kind of overlook,
Yeah, this 2 months from now, even a month from now, this is very much all right, well, when does the next good team or fun team or team that has any sort of relevance or ties to the Dodgers, when do they come to town? When do they face off? But for now, there's several longtime future Dodgers on this team that we get eyes on. Stephen Kwan, J-Ram. I saw somebody in the chat bringing up too their rookie Chase DeLauter,
who was my pick for American League Rookie of the Year. So
yeah,
I guess I'm excited about that.
I knew very little about him. I didn't realize that. I know, shocker. I don't pay that much attention. I barely pay enough attention to the Dodgers sometimes. We know this, but I was unaware that he made his major league debut in the playoffs last year. Shout out, I think it was Pitching Ninja who let me know that, or watching that Pitching Ninja.
Yeah, I discovered it when I was watching those games last year.
Well, must be nice, huh? Got time on his hands then. You had a job then.
No, I didn't. I was just doing the first time I ever heard the name Chase DeLauter, because before I took this full-time job, I was driving people to their doctor's appointments for this.
That's right.
And I was sitting in the minivan waiting for one of the residents to finish her chiropractor appointment, watching the game on my phone. That was the first time I ever heard the name Chase DeLauter. So,
yeah. He's one of the good ones. He's solid. He's going to strike out a bunch. He's going to hit some dingers. Already 4 homers on the season. Yeah. Roki is going to have some fun with a kid like that.
Yeah, it's 2 guys. He and Murakami on the White Sox have both homered in each of their first 3 games. DeLauder, as I mentioned, the Guardians don't have a hit today or a run, so obviously he doesn't have a home run yet today. But there's still 4 innings left, so it could happen. I want to shout out our buddy Ray Soto, $1.99 super chat. Nothing to say, just wanted to give us money. It's one of our favorite kinds of super chats. So I don't have the buttons like Clint does, but we'll pretend.
I got that.
Oh.
I can sign it up.
There we go.
Yeah. You know what? Today, for all super chats, much to Jeff's likely chagrin, I'm going to finish this tiny corner of Maker's Mark.
Hey, I don't have any chagrin. Your liver may have some chagrin.
They're just going to be little sippies.
I am chagrinless.
Well, chagrin's your uncle.
Chagrin and Barrett, baby.
Ugh, that's awful. I love it.
Oh, is that the one that?
Some more of it.
Is that the one that Alana gave you?
Yeah, I'm finally finishing this one, or I might just once I finish it, cheat and put apple juice in it, and people will be like, "Oh man, he got a second one,"
and do like a big gulp of it. You just
it's like that one meme or that one GIF of the guy coming out of the trailer down the stairs, just stumbling over himself. That's who I strive to be.
Yeah. Well, good. Do you have any? So besides Chase DeLauder, obviously Jose Ramirez, is there anything else about this Cleveland Guardians team that you're excited to see?
Not so much, because even like I know there are some of the pitchers they have, like I don't even know if it's ball knowers like them, like the names. I don't care enough, what's his name? Corey Kluber isn't there anymore. CC Sabathia isn't there anymore. Guys from yesteryear aren't there anymore. I know the name Tanner Bibby means something to people. Doesn't so much to me. You do have Dodgers.
What about
legend.
Tanner Bibee, the guy on the Guardians?
Yeah. Listen. Again, it means nothing to me.
Tanner Bibee is a Southern California boy.
I put him down by not caring about the pronunciation.
So I do
care about. Hold on. What I do care about, though, is Dodgers legend Connor Brogdon.
Connor Brogdon's on Cleveland now, huh?
Apparently.
Okay. I know we saw him in spring training. Was that for the Guardians? I guess it probably was. Yeah, that dude's skinny. He would not fit in on this show.
Oh, wow. That was 2024 guy. Felt like last year.
So my childhood best friend, who actually played for the Indians in Little League, which is now, of course, the Guardians. But he's 49 now, and he plays in an adult baseball league, and he played against Tanner Bibee. Tanner Bibee's dad plays in this league, or did play in this league. And when Tanner Bibee was in high school, his dad had him come play on their team one time. And my friend has reminded me several times, now that Tanner Bibee's in the big leagues, that he ripped a double off Tanner Bibee in this adult league. Tanner Bibee was 16 years old at the time, but Bernie Campa, my childhood best friend, has a double off of him. Tanner Bibee, he's also has made one start this year, and it did not go well. Gave up 3 home runs, 3 solo homers, so he's got that going for him. But a 5.40 ERA, got a no decision. Last year he was solid. The year before, like his first 2 years, he looked like a guy who was going to be a decent player. And last year he had a rough season, and this year so far it's just one game, but looking rough. So we won't see him in this series unless he becomes the TBD guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just excited about the Dodger side of things. I'm excited to see if Roki steps up when the games actually matter.
Yeah, that's going to be the big one. We talked about it a little bit last night. Like a massive thing we need to see for Roki is the same stuff we saw in that first series for Tanner Scott and Blake Trinan, which is get your season off to a nice start. If you get off to a nice start, you can quiet some of the haters. You can quiet the demons, maybe creeping up, the voices in your head saying you can't do this, you're not good at this. That'll go a long way. A clean first inning, like a 1-2-3 inning, would feed generations to open the game for Roki Sasaki. In
Yeah,
my opinion, at least.
it's I'm like I said yesterday. Like I wouldn't say I'm confident, but I'm hopeful. I feel I really do think that it's mostly mechanical. I'm sure there's a mental aspect because it's hard no matter who
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are
the
when you're.
opposite.
But I think that the mental side is because of the lack of success, not the cause of the lack of success. And so fixing the mechanics, like you said, coming out there and having a 1-2-3 inning, or at least a zero walk inning. Okay, give up a single, fine, but get 3 outs without walking anybody. That will only help the confidence, and that I really do think it's more mechanical, that he doesn't know where the ball is going, and that's something you can fix at any time. So, I'm going to stay hopeful as long as he is in the rotation, because what's the point in being anything other than hopeful?
Yeah.
I don't know. Definitely haven't reached the point where I'm confident that fix is going to happen, but I am remaining hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, all of the appendages are crossed for sure. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, and that one hurts a little bit. But, um, you know, I hope that your gut feeling on this is right, that it's more on the mechanical side. I think it's the head. I think it's the mental toughness, to borrow from our buddy Richie. Because even that last start at Dodger Stadium against the Angels, he had mentioned that he felt good. He was throwing really well in the bullpen, and then he got to the big mound. He got to the main mound. He got to the 3-deck stadium staring down at him, and couldn't really find the strike zone. And the spray pattern does not leave a lot to be desired. So safe to say we will be live after Roki start, positive or negative, tomorrow night. So make sure you guys tube in, hit that like button,
And
subscribe, all
despite
that kind of
Clint's
stuff.
reputation, he's hoping for a positive game to
I
talk
am.
about.
I would like to have something to build on for Roki. I think that is huge. But, you know, Cleveland, good team, young team. Alexander Rose said that much earlier in the chat. Guardians hitters scare me the most about the team, but the pitching doesn't. They got a few core young guys in there, and I mean, they also got J Ram, and you don't mess with Jose Ramirez, man. Like, he is one of, if not, well, he's definitely the best Cleveland Guardian on that roster. With no or no disrespect to Stephen Kwan, who's behind him, but my God, he is very, very good at baseball. Is J Ram, and would not be shocked to see baseball go bye tomorrow night. But I'm hoping not. I'm really
Yeah.
hoping not.
The Guardians did just get a base runner in the top of the sixth on a hit by pitch. So
Spoiler.
the no
Not
hitter
spoiler.
is still going, but then Brian Rocchio immediately hit into a double play. So he erased that base runner. So yeah, if you're interested in no hitters, go turn on that game. I guess it's only the sixth inning now. I'd say wait till the eighth before it's really a no hitter in progress. But let's talk about the Saturday game really quick. Not Saturday. I just, in my mind, game
You
2 of
sound
the
like me.
series is on Saturday.
That's fair.
The Tuesday game, Shohei
Yes.
Ohtani pitching. What is your realistic expectation for Shohei Ohtani as far as innings pitched, runs allowed, and number of pitches thrown?
I think Show comes out very strong. I'm looking at 6. He's going to want to try to go into the 7th, but I think the pitch count is going to be in a pretty manageable spot. 6 innings, 4 hits and a run, probably like 8 punchies to open the season on, and a couple of walks. I think he really, the man who has nothing left to prove in this game outside of just you know continue to prove that he is the GOAT, that he is the best ever to put on a baseball uniform. He wants that Cy Young award desperately. He wants it bad. I'm pretty sure he's got it. A picture of the Cy Young award just tacked into every wall surrounding him. Imagine him sitting on the toilet, and it's just a picture of the Cy Young, assuming Shohei poops. We don't really know. We have not got eyes on that yet. We'll get somebody on the case, but that's what I'm expecting. What about you for Showtime?
Probably about that. Like, there's part of me that wouldn't be surprised if they pull him after 5 innings, regardless of how things are going. Especially if he's, like you said, 8 strikeouts. I mean, if he's striking out a lot of guys, that could be driving the pitch count up. Um, I don't think they want to put him in a position where they have to pull him mid inning because of pitch count.
Yeah.
And so I think they will be conservative in this first start, where if the number in their mind is 90 pitches, and that's just a number I'm throwing out, that I would guess the number in their mind will be around 90. And if he's at 80 through 5 innings, I don't think they send him back out for the 6th inning.
I think some of that also could be not. I think some of that 100% will be dependent on how Roki's game goes and how much they have to blow through bullpen if they do in Monday. But also, yeah, I mean, if they're in a spot where they could pull Shohei after 5 strong, so be it. We don't care about the individual accolades. It should be about the team. It should be about making sure guys are used in the right way and the right amount, and not overusing guys. And whether that be a bullpen guy or Shohei in his first start of the season, where he only had 2 starts during spring to get ramped up. Yeah, wouldn't be the worst thing to have him just go 5.
Yeah, and especially like you said, if Roki can get deep enough that Robo can take down the rest of the game tomorrow, so they only use Roki and Robo tomorrow,
that would be huge.
Then the entire bullpen has had 2 days off plus Yamamoto the next day, and so you can afford to pull Shohei after 5. But that's a really good point, that it depends on how tomorrow goes, and that is part of the arithmetic that managers and pitching coaches have to do over the course of a long season, of figuring out, like, it's not just, there is no game that exists in a vacuum. And that's why when people talk about punting games, that's because they have to be thinking about tomorrow's game. And same thing here. Like, sometimes you have to make a guy go a little bit longer than you might have wanted to because of the surrounding games. There's nothing exists in a vacuum. And that's always important to remember when sitting on our couches and judging how these guys are doing their jobs, I guess.
Or my not comfortable enough chair, because we still don't have Big Chair as a sponsor.
Chairsforfatguys.com. Come on. Get on it. Hey, let's take a look.
This is a chair.
We don't have chairsforfatguys.com as a sponsor. We do have FanDuel as a sponsor. Let's take a look over at what's going on over there. I'm looking at the MVP races. Aaron Judge, despite a lackluster start to the season, remains at plus 180 in the American League as the odds-on favorite to win the MVP in that league. Cal Raleigh, despite starting the season over 6,000 with 7,000 strikeouts, is currently running third at plus 950. Bobby Witt Jr. in between. My pick, Bobby Witt Jr., is currently sitting at second at plus 450. In the National League, Shohei Ohtani remains the favorite, and the actual favorite, he's at minus 140, meaning you could take Ohtani or the field. They're taking Ohtani, saying he's more likely than everybody else combined to win it. Yeah. Juan Soto sits at second most likely at plus 700. Acuna at plus 1,100. Tatis at plus 2,000. Then Lindor and Corbin Carroll rounding out the top 6. Kind of interesting names there. The others in the top 6 in the American League: Julio Rodriguez, Nick Kurtz, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. So,
okay.
There's a lot of interesting stuff over there. Let's just click on the home runs tab just to see the season leader in home runs. Aaron Judge is the favorite at plus 165. Ohtani is all the way down at third at plus 310. Kyle Schwarber is there in second. He did out-homer Ohtani last year by 1 or 2 homers. And the betting odds currently think he might do it again. No, Cal Raleigh led baseball.
Oh, that's right. It was 60, and he was at like
56 or 57, and Ohtani at 55.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's all the names you expect: Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, Shohei Ohtani, Cal Raleigh, Nick Kurtz, and Pete Alonso. So that's no big surprises there. But all of those, you can check that out. There's a ton. Now the baseball season has started. There's a ton of different baseball options over at FanDuel.
And games too. Dodgers, despite Roki starting tomorrow, still favorites to win the money line minus 184.
So strongly favored.
Strong, yeah, plus 154 for the Cleveland Guardians, because regardless of Roki Sasaki starting, he still has 25 other Dodgers around him that are very, very good at their jobs.
Yeah.
But shout out FanDuel for being a presenting partner on the show. Also, shout out, we got a super chat from Dodgers Everything earlier in the chat, $9.99. I'm going to hit the gong for that one. He says contributing, or they say contributing to the new Ohtani refill cup. So I poured myself a little bit more of the Doyer's Maker's Mark. So cheers to you on this Sunday shot super chat extravaganza. Not really a shot. It's a sipper.
Yeah.
Also, I would never. Imagine buying that Ohtani cup and then forgetting it.
Or getting there and you forgot to bring a transparent bag to put it in, so they don't let you bring it into the stadium. That's probably their angle here. They're going to find ways to keep people from bringing them into the stadium. We also have a $1.99 super chat from Enigma. Says, I know Clint loves how Lou Bob is doing. Luis Robert Jr. had a walk-off home run for the Mets the other day.
They freed my boy.
Yeah,
I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy for him.
Enigma also had a comment, said Aaron Judge has 2 home runs. How is that a lackluster season? Our friend Enigma, let me tell you. Last year, Aaron Judge's OPS was 1144. The year before that, 1159. The year before that, 1019. The year before that, 1111. This year, 769. That's worse. Hashtag math, baby. Aaron Judge, yes, he has 2 home runs. He has 0 other hits. He's struck out in more than half of his plate appearances. The home runs are great. I'm sure they're glad they've gotten those 2 home runs, and that's why his OPS isn't like 0. But by Aaron Judge standards, yes. So far, he is having a below Aaron Judge standard season. So that's how.
We haven't talked about the slow start for Roki. Or sorry, not Roki, for Shohei yet. Talked a little bit about it, but REM Sleep Vibes had mentioned that in the chat. Every year so far starts with people worried about Ohtani. My money says he'll be okay this year. Just 1 hit. Where are we at? 1 hit and 8 at bats, taking some walks. So the on base is still fine, but it feels like he's doing that midseason Ohtani thing where he's reaching a little bit. He really wants to crack his first dinger, and that happens. I have less than 0 worry about Shohei Ohtani having himself a bad season, but
that's where I'm too. He's only struck out 1 time in 13 plate appearances. He's done a pretty good job of staying in the zone. Like you said, he has the 4 walks and a hit by pitch. I mean, his on base percentage right now would be his career high. Obviously, it's 3 games, but it's not just okay. It's amazing right now. He's been on base almost half the time he's come to the plate, and I think a lot of that is just Kyle Tucker needs to continue punishing teams for putting Ohtani on base, and then he will get more pitches to hit. But I like that Ohtani has been patient enough to take his walks, knowing that for people who care about batting average, it's going to look bad. But ultimately, the 1 strikeout in 13 plate appearances has me feeling good about Ohtani, that things are going to be okay.
Yeah, he's not swinging wild. He's just a little off. He's a little off right now. He's reaching, but still he's making weaker contact, and he'll eventually.
And remember the panic in 2024 when Ohtani didn't homer in his first 8 games or whatever? People like, what if he never hits a home run as a Dodger? And then he proceeded to hit 109 home runs over the next, 320 games? Just, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
I'm starting to think Shohei Ohtani might be good at baseball.
So what you're telling us here is it's just 3 games?
It's just 3 games. So yeah,
I
would describe it as a lackluster season so far for him, just like I did Aaron Judge. But the much better strikeout rate than Judge has me far less concerned than I would be if I were the kind of person who was emotionally invested in Aaron Judge's success, which I am not.
Yeah. I guess I only am in that I have him as my AL MVP winner, but also I don't care.
Yeah.
He's not on my team.
We got anything else to say about this upcoming series?
No, I mean, the other side is just, hopefully Yama continues being Yama. Slightly earlier start at Dodger Stadium for that game. I feel like we're due for a 6 or 7 or 8 inning performance out of him, just because why not? And then day off and on to Washington for early baseball, which I don't know how you feel about that, but it's a 10 a.m. start Pacific time on Friday, which is always weird.
So that's 11 o'clock my time. Friday, though, Friday is a decent time because I will be mostly in my office that day working. And so I can have the game on in the background. So that'll be good. I'll be able to catch the game. All right, let's do this, Clint. Let's talk a little bit about voicemails, and then we're going to hang out with the chat. We're going to talk about, whatever these people want to talk about. Wow.
I'm glad you mentioned the voicemails because I just found a chat I was looking for from Richie earlier. It says, by the way, 2 weeks in a row, they have the voicemails have been flushed down the toilet. It has them seeking professional help this week. I mean, we could argue Richie should always be seeking professional help.
I say anything that we can do that has Richie seeking professional help, I consider that a service to society on our part.
Respectfully, of course.
Yeah. So, voicemails.
We made a decision.
We love voicemails from our listeners. Big fans of them. But what we're going to do this season is not do voicemail shows. What we are going to hope is that you guys will, at any point during the week, during the day, during a game, fifth inning, Teoscar Hernandez rips a double and you see something you like, shoot us off a 45-second voicemail, or even better, a voice memo on your phone that you then send to us. I don't know if we've set up an email account yet for it.
I have something. Let me look that up.
While I keep talking, Clint's going to find an email address because voice memos just sound better. And so as far as production quality on the show, it'll sound better if you send us a voice memo via email, but you can still do a voicemail. That phone number still exists. We'll have it in place. I think it's in the description of every show. So it's not hard to find.
I took it out just today or the last two shows because I figured we were going to address it first and I didn't want people to just randomly leave stuff. But yeah, 562-373-4095. I will still make sure I'm paying attention to that. But anyways, continue.
So what we're looking for in these voicemails is 45 seconds, maybe a minute long, focused on one topic that is interesting. And then what we can do is we'll have these voicemails and we're like, hey, we want to talk about, hey, Teo has looked better lately. Hey, we have this voicemail from our friend Dan. Let's use this voicemail as a way to kick off our conversation about it. And so we want the voicemails or voice memos. We'll still call them voicemails, but hopefully they'll be voice memos. We want them to add to the show, to make the show better, to help push the show along. And so, we will still occasionally be like, hey, we have these 8 voicemails that we never played because they never quite fit into a segment. And so let's do mostly just a voicemail show where we catch up on those. There's no guarantee that you send in a voicemail. That means it'll get played on the show. But the best chance to do it would be for it to be short, to the point, and focused on one topic that we can kick off a conversation. If you talk about 3 things, it doesn't kick off a conversation for us. And so it's going to be impossible for us to really work it into a show in a meaningful way. So that's kind of our goal with the voicemail strategy. Did you find that email address, Clint?
I'm still looking. I know I had a secondary one to the All Dodgers one. I just can't find it. So in the interim, email your voice memos to clint@alldodgers.com. And then I will also make either a joint, Gmail for us to go through or whatever. Still figuring out the logistics of this part.
That's the other benefit of the voice memo is that right now only Clint has access to the voicemails. And so when I'm doing a show, I can't do voicemails, but if they're voice memos that are emailed, it'll be easier for me. We can put them in a Google Drive, we can.
And they're a lot easier to share back and forth and pull from. But when I started doing voicemails, whatever, I was obviously the first person to ever do voicemails on the internet for a show, any sort of sports show. Definitely the first person. But anyways, I keyed. The whole hope was we get a bunch of people calling in that just, hey, I really like what we saw tonight. Or, Dave Roberts stinks or something like that. Or whatever it is that something here is somebody who either, like you're mentioning, has something that kicks off a conversation about Roki or kicks off some sort of conversation about Teoscar Hernandez and his defense or whatever. Or, hey, here is the pulse of Dodgers fans right now. I'm that guy who's right in between. You're always going to be the voice of reason. We know the fans are going to generally be more unruly, more overreactionary. And that's what makes this fun, getting that other angle of it. But, having more people calling in and, obviously for a while, it's been pretty much Richie and Noah calling in, and I appreciate that. I think Noah usually calls in just because he's trying to help out rather than, hey, I have some things I really want to get off my chest. He's trying to, hey, here's more people calling in. Let's get more people. So I appreciate Noah for that. And obviously Richie will talk to a trash can if it'll listen to him. So him having an opportunity to espouse a lot of stuff to a captive audience helps him out a whole bunch. And they're fun, they're enjoyable. But I think for everybody, and ideally moving the show forward, we get more voices if we are having voicemails. I want to hear from everybody. I think we want to hear from everybody, thoughts about this team, just general reactions. Even if you're calling during the game, I hated a specific play. Our goal is to do more post games this year. We can talk about a specific play based on you calling in that moment. And I think that's something that if everybody gets on board, we don't care what you sound like. You don't need to be scripted. Just call in. That's the most important thing. And I think you'll have some fun with it, or leave your voice memo.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that covers that. I see some mixed reactions in here. Matty Man says, so you're asking us to be relevant? I don't know, Jeff. Alexander Rose says he likes the format, keeps the topic on one thing. Richie, believe it or not, has some feelings about it. He did use his favorite line, Jeff wouldn't give me a glass of water if I was drowning. And then Diane reminds him that he used that one the other day because Richie, I don't know why a drowning man would want a glass of water. I think that's actually true. I think of all the things Richie has said, that one is actually true. I would not give him or any other drowning person a glass of water.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say, hey,
I mean, ideally,
dog paddle, Richie, dog paddle. Buoyancy.
I'm assuming we're still going to hear from Richie, but Richie, just we'll keep yours a little more concise and on point, and then everybody hopefully plays along with voicemails this season. I know a lot of other shows have tried to do the voicemail stuff, and I get it. We're all a bunch of internet people. Maybe we have reservations. Maybe we have anxieties about calling. Nobody knows who the hell you are. All you are is a Dodger fan. All you are is a Dodger friend here on the show. So call. They will get better the more you do it.
And I promise you're smarter than 80% of the people who call in on Dodger Talk.
I'm going to walk away from that one.
I remember, we just had the anniversary of the opening day in 2019 against the D-backs when the Dodgers hit 8 home runs. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to Dodger Talk. I was at the game on my way back to Elsinore from Dodger Stadium, and Felix in Riverside called in, genuinely concerned that the Dodgers were too dependent on the long ball. I'm like,
well, I mean,
they just hit 8 home runs. Yes, they were dependent in this game. There are no downsides to hitting 8 home runs in a game. If they strike out 30 times trying to hit home runs, then you can express this concern. But the day that they just hit 8 home runs, Felix at Riverside, just go ahead and enjoy this one. So.
Two things I have is, one, I'm offended that you weren't watching or listening to me and Brooke live on Blue Heaven after the game. And
I thought
two,
Brooke was like Conforto. We don't say his name.
And two, you think of that season. Obviously Dave opting to go to Kershaw against the Nationals. That's going to be the everlasting memory, but also them relying in that series on the home run ball. Not Dalton Rushing, the other guy, Gavin Lux's homer falling short. Everybody thought it was gone. The season kind of relying on that one. I think that was that series. Anyways, they're a pretty high homer reliant team. It was a good season to be homer reliant.
But the day you hit 8 home runs,
you should be happy.
That's just a positive thing. Alexander Rose has a good point in here. He says, one thing I struggle is trying to fit multiple things in a voicemail. So now that I could just pick one individual thing I can focus on. I've heard that from a few people. I think this takes some of the pressure off you guys. You don't need to make it a great, grand, memorable voicemail. Just here's a thing I thought, and here's 45 seconds about it. Bing, bang, boom. So We would
Yeah,
love
and I
to
think that
have
was one
some
of the
of those.
things that you and I talked a lot about last year, offline, even though it was online, about, how do we kind of get more people to call in and understand that, yeah, it doesn't need to be, boy, pen a letter, and here's my proclamation that I'm going to go to the town square to have everybody fire off or whatever. Yeah, short, sweet, bitch about something, be happy about something. Let's move on. Let's have it be part of the conversation. You guys will 100% steer the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we got a couple more super chats here. You ready, Clint? I'm going to do two
I'm
in a
ready.
row.
Oh,
From our buddy Dan, he says, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." Uh,
sophistication. We are empty. I'm sorry, Dan, or everybody else after. I'll have to
uh,
open some of my other one.
I assume VS means Vin Scully. Is that
Probably.
VS always means Vin Scully in my mind. So if you're talking about, I can't think of anybody else with initials VS. Vern Stevens. Vern Stevens played for the Washington Senators, maybe back in the 30s. I'm making up both of those things, but I know there was a baseball player named Vern Stevens. Anyway, we also have a $4.99 super chat from Enigma. He says, "I'm Gen Z. We never call anyone for anything, but I love this idea because it's short and sweet. I will be calling in." Awesome. I am looking
Love
forward
that.
to it. Yeah,
One of
you
our
say
great
something while I
rage
look
baiters.
and see.
That's one of our great rage baiters in the Discord is the Enigma. So going to love hearing some thoughts and things from the Enigma. Raul said in the chat, "Wait, phones are made to use, make phone calls, make calls." That's what the words say. Yeah, sometimes you can.
Sometimes.
Other
Vern
times they're for
Stevens
gaming.
played for the St. Louis Browns and the Boston Red Sox, not the Washington Senators. I apologize for leading you all astray, but
You're so
he had
bad
three
at this.
nicknames: Junior, Buster, and Little Slug.
And a partridge in a pear tree. Other things I'm seeing in the chat. Oh, we got that.
$1.99 super chat from Raul. "Just avoid the Billy Madison leaving everyone dumb." Yeah, don't make us say, "I award you no points and may God have mercy on your soul." Because
Or
everyone knows
I
that.
assume doing it this way, I'm gonna really lean into my Vasse impression. I mean, those are live callers. That's a tough situation.
Yeah.
But um, other things to talk about that are Dodger related, and I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat bringing up JT3, our guy Jimothy Tibbs. He is having himself a hell of a start to his AAA season. What is it? He opened the day 5 for 9. I think he has since tacked on more. 615 average, a 2 OPS, 2 homers. He has 6 extra base hits. That was from Sleeper Dodgers. I actually think it's changed.
Back-to-back games with 3 extra base hits.
Yeah, Mr. Classic, I like this dude a lot more than Quintero, who is their current number one guy. And I think by the next reset of looking on the pipeline side, I don't even know if Quintero is the number one on MLB pipeline, but I know people like Baseball America, they're super confused. They know the Dodgers have a lot of talent in the minor leagues, but they're super confused about how to order them all.
Yeah.
Tibbs is going to be the number one prospect, I think, at the next update. I feel that in my bones and my subcockle region because he is just good.
Yeah, right now on MLB, Quintero's third. It's DePaula, Hope, and then Quintero, then Sirota. So 4 outfielders to start. Then Charles Davalon is number 9. So James Tibbs is their 6th highest ranked outfielder among their prospects right now. And you know what? I've talked a lot with Keith Law about these prospect lists, and it's always a balancing act between how close are they to the big leagues and what's their ceiling and everything. And DePaula and Hope and Quintero are all based on ceiling more than how close they are. And I do think that those guys may have a higher ceiling than Tibbs, although he's not far off. And I think he is raising his floor so much that that's a big factor too. And so he's definitely going to be quicker to the big leagues than those guys, and probably has a higher floor. I mean, you look at Zaire Hope's strikeout rate in the minors. You look at Josue DePaula's defense. You look at Eduardo Quintero's age. All these things. It's like there's all sorts of reasons why those guys might not work out.
Yeah.
JT3 is getting perilously close to, he's just a big leaguer, and I do think I need to see it a little bit longer in AAA. I'm not saying call him up now, but I'm with you. He has shown a ton between spring training and now the start with Oklahoma City. I just love what he's done after being traded twice last year. And, I give the Dodgers some credit. I don't know how much credit the Dodgers deserve, but it's got to be at least some,
Well, where they deserve credit is a couple of people, including Raul in the chat. Did you see Dustin May's start today? His 2026 debut for the Cardinals gave up 6 runs in 4 innings, I think. But they got this dude for, almost the literal corpse of Dustin May.
This dude and Zach Earhart.
They
got both of them.
Fleeceman strikes again. I love that, man.
Yeah. And it's wild. Like, I don't know if the Red Sox really just gave up on Tibbs.
I don't think they know. The same way, prognosticators, the prospect talent evaluators, they don't know. Nobody really knows about Tibbs.
But they had just traded Rafael Devers for him.
Yeah.
And then
that was kind of like a gun to your back. Like, they needed to move Devers in Boston.
But then he played 30 games in the Red Sox minor league system. He batted .207 with a .586 OPS. Like, he was terrible. Mm-hmm. But I think they just, I think they thought, good thing we got whatever Harrison, that left-handed pitcher for the Giants too. I'm sure he has a name. I can't be bothered to know it. I don't even know for sure this last name is Harrison. I remember what was going on when the trade happened because he was warming up. Harrison was warming up to start against the Dodgers, you remember? And then they scratched him because he had been traded. But that's what JT3 went. But I think the Red Sox just gave up on him too soon. And good news for us.
They wanted pitching. They were trying to go in to get somewhere deeper in that, into the postseason last year. They thought they had enough talent around the team. Just whoever the idiot was that said Dustin May is going to help that club. Who's running that club right now? That's not Heim Bloom. Who is it over there? Former big leaguer.
Yeah.
The name is right there. Something with a B. Also, I think
Ivy League school.
Anyways, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He'll be the latest. He'll be the latest idiot to run the Boston Red Sox.
By the way,
Craig Breslow.
Leading off the top of the 7th in Seattle, Chase DeLauder broke up the no-hitter with a base hit. Was later wiped out on another double play. But the Guardians are down 7-0, but they're not going to get no hit tonight thanks to future Rookie of the Year Chase DeLauder.
All Dodgers legend Chase DeLauder.
Yeah.
I had saw another one much earlier in the chat that I wanted to get into, but I can't find it. So you say words until I find it.
I will pop up my buddy, our friend and yours, who doesn't have a great username on YouTube, but he is a friend of ours. Who the funny thing is, I'm blanking on his name right now. I know his first and last name, but I can only see his username. Anyway, he lives in the Seattle area, and he is upset that the Mariners pulled his name, Emerson Hancock, after 6 innings while throwing a no-hitter. Yeah, he went 6 innings. He said, "I understand pitch count, but it's still wrong." He was at 97 pitches through 6 innings. So there was no way he was going to finish the no-hitter. As my opinion on that, like especially his first start of the season, you're looking at he's on pace for a 150 pitch no-hitter. You're not going to let anybody, especially a talented young, promising pitcher like Emerson Hancock, throw 150 pitches in his first start of the season. So once you've decided, okay, he's not finishing the no-hitter anyway, then you just stick to your plan. And if you said 100 was the limit, then you pull him.
Who was that former Dodger, the rookie who made his, I think, big league debut against Randy Johnson in 2002, I want to say it is, and then he ended up throwing a no-hitter for the Diamondbacks and it was like 150 pitch no-hitter. He pitched for like every team.
It was more
I can't
recent than that.
Well, that's when he made his debut, but that no hitter happened, whatever, like 10 years ago at this point. It's dumb
You
that
talking about that Gilbert guy?
no Dodger. He was a Dodger. He was a young boy. I can't think of the name at the moment.
Because Tyler Gilbert was drafted by the Dodgers or played in the Dodgers minor league system, and then threw a no hitter for the D-backs in his second.
For some reason, my brain was a long time.
Oh, Angel. Edwin Jackson.
There you go, Edwin Jackson.
Oh.
He had like 151 pitch or 149 pitch no hitter, but also he was like 12 years into his whatever it was 16-year big league career where he played for 32 of the 30 teams, I think. So
by the way,
this is different.
This comment was from my friend Randall Thomas. Sorry, Randall, I forgot your name on the fly. Randall, good dude. We interact a lot on Instagram. Nice guy.
Gotcha.
So
I found the comment I was looking for. It was actually from Richie. Richie had a good comment. So we'll do this. We'll hit the platform. And he says, as much as I'm enjoying the Padres getting off to a 1-2 start and the Giants getting swept, I am not putting any stock in that. D-backs have the potential to be competitive, and I'm not dismissing them. I think, all of these teams, it's way too early. Even with the Dodgers, way too early. I saw somebody else mention at the chat, like, I would like to see the Dodgers score before the 5th inning, All of this, we are very much firmly into the very small sample size portion of the season, so we got to see a lot more to know anything about those pods, anything about the Giants, Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. I think we could buy into the Rockies. They are going to be in 5th place.
Yeah, getting swept by the Marlins to start the season definitely probably cements that a little bit for them.
Bad.
I was surprised that the Giants played so poorly this weekend. I expect them to be, especially because I think they're going to be a pretty solid offensive team. And it's not like the Yankees are world beaters with their starting pitching right now. They're solid, but 1 run in 3 games. I assume that's not going to last, and the Giants are going to be better than that. The Padres, who knows what the Padres are going to be? Nobody ever knows what the Padres are going to be. I saw somebody ask, I guess Walker Buehler starts for the Padres tonight. Does that sound right?
Sure. It sounds about right because he is on the Padres, and I'm assuming they're playing a Sunday game.
Yeah.
Tonight, though? It's a Sunday. Let's see, how do we spell Padres?
I'm looking at the schedule. I don't see them on the...
It's not tonight. It's tomorrow, Monday at 6:40. So they, too, had a Sunday off game unless... No, it would definitely be showing today's game.
The Padres
so they're
didn't
off.
play today. So they play tomorrow. And it is... Yeah, Walker Buehler against Landon Roop. Is that... Yeah, Landon Roop for the Giants. So... Hey, the very movable force goes up against the quite stoppable object or whatever. The Padres against the Giants tomorrow. Which one can burst into 3rd place?
I will tell you, I'm not overly concerned about that game. I will be much more concerned about watching what Roki is going to be doing.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't imagine paying attention to a Giants-Padres game this early in the season. I probably will watch the recap to see how Buehler did. But
again, he's a dude I really hope does well. I would like to see him do well, even though it's dumb to want a Padre to do well. But Buehler was one of those guys that was a dude, and he deserves to. He's put so much work into trying to come back, and he also put a lot of work into that right arm for the Dodgers for the his big league career. So again, hopefully he could figure something out and become at least serviceable enough.
Yeah, Enigma wants to know if the Giants and Padres can both lose, not on the same day, but yeah, in general when they're playing in a series, I just root for whichever one won yesterday to lose today, and just keep them both, because I only care about them in as much as they matter in the division. So. I want the Dodgers to win the division by 30 games this year.
That's it. I don't know. I mean, again, I enjoy having something to watch and root for later in the season.
Well, you can still watch and root for the Dodgers. It doesn't have to be a division race,
Give me a division race.
Yeah,
That's what
I don't hate division races, but we got one of those last year and the year before. So I'm ready for a runaway, and I want a runaway season where they then don't underperform in October. Just to prove that can be done. Match my prediction of 109 wins in the regular season, or 162. As long as it's on the table, and then just sweep, dominate through the postseason. Just have a nice, relaxing postseason. Which is what last year looked like it was going to be until the World Series. Because the Dodgers, they lost one game in their first 3 series.
Series, yeah.
They
Just
swept the Reds.
Phillies.
They lost 1 to the Phillies, and they swept the Brewers. And there was intrigue in those games. The Brewers series was the closest 4-0 series sweep you've ever seen. The Phillies series very easily could have gone the other way with a couple things here and there, but ultimately, the Dodgers never faced an elimination game until late in the World Series, and then they faced 3 of them in a row.
Yep.
So no, just 2 of them, I guess.
2, yeah, just the 2. I don't know. I mean, also the last 2 seasons they've played for something late into the season, and they've won a World Series. So I'm one of those guys. Same way, who you said
Albert was the one who had to do it for
Albert,
tradition.
yeah.
Pat just came because he likes me.
Well, somebody clip that. You do the same thing over and over. That's very important. I am stitious. It's not super, but I'm stitious.
Yeah, and I'm not, but I pretend to be, and maybe that's a superstition in and of itself, that I have to pretend to be superstitious.
Passively superstitious.
Yeah. Hey, you'll like this. You'll like this username. Comment from Big Ball Nuts says Clint and Geoff should have a hot dog eating contest. I'm curious which one can eat the most. I'm not interested.
Well, I'm not terribly interested as well. I think you could wolf down more though. You got more torso for space.
Because you're a tiny little guy. You're a tiny little big guy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely obviously the 4th of July hot dog eating contest. When I eat a hot dog, it's to enjoy a hot dog. And so actually a hot dog eating contest just seems gross, how they're just dipping the buns in water and everything just to get them down. It's that defeats the purpose of eating a hot dog. But I don't know that I have ever had more than 3 hot dogs in one day. And I'm sure I could, but I wouldn't really be interested in having more than 3 hot dogs in one day. And 1 or 2 would be closer to my ideal, especially if they're big hot dogs. If it's just a little one, I could have 3 or 4. But yeah.
Thank you, Big Balls Nuts.
Yep.
Big Ball Nuts.
And all the
Keeping
rest.
the conversation.
Yeah.
Also, something like that, very easily, that could be a voicemail. That could be a call-in. It's like, hey,
you'd have to tell us your name is Big Ball Nuts, though.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Hey, this
Let
is
us know.
Big Ball Nuts. First time listener, long time caller.
Oh, Big Ball Nuts, friend of the show.
Mr. Classic points out not all hot dogs are created equal. That's absolutely true. I didn't have a Dodger dog on Thursday at the game. I thought about it. I did. So they have chili cheese nachos now, chili cheese nachos is my favorite form of nachos. Growing up at the Little League field, they called those chili billies. That's what we used to have. And just chips with chili and nacho cheese on them. It's one of nature's perfect foods. And so I had a chili cheese nacho helmet at Dodger Stadium, and it was perfect. And so I had that, and I had a ice cream helmet, and that was it. It was perfect. So
that's always.
But I will have a Dodger dog when I'm there in 12 days because I'll be sitting dugout club. And Dodger dogs are free there. So.
Oh, wow, rich kid. Who do we know?
Yeah, my wife and my 2 sons have never sat in dugout club. I have, and my daughter has, and my sons have never let me live it down that I took my daughter to dugout club and haven't taken them. And so we decided we're going. So I got a good deal from a friend of mine who has tickets there. So we're going to sit dugout club that night. Shohei Ohtani bobblehead night on Friday, April 10th. So right behind the Dodger dugout. Should be a fun one. And I will have a Dodger dog that night.
We're proud of you. And thing is, people are nice enough to send in super chats for you to have a Dodger dog. That's what I assume they are for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Evan Lee says Sasaki needs to increase his weight for velocity. I really don't think that's the issue because Roki was throwing 102 when he was probably even smaller than he is now. I don't think it's a weight thing at all. He seems to have the levers for the velocity figured out. It's I think it's more mechanical than weight related. But
I'm laughing at Enigma to go back to food talk. This says we're officially in the all food portion of the show. Yeah, I mean, you'd like to see Roki fill out, and I'll call back on the parallels with Shohei, who again had some. It wasn't a perfect transition to the big leagues from NPB. Obviously, he had the Tommy John, and then it took time coming back from all of that the first time through. But he was also but a skinny little boy. Had himself a really, really bad spring training in 2018 before figuring some things out, and figure them out he did. So that's where you pump the brakes a bit when you're quick to condemn Roki, but it's not quick when you see a whole really bad spring training, in my opinion.
But you do have to remember that the Dodgers are thinking about this, the 5 more years they have him under contract, and what's his best chance to contribute to winning a couple more World Series during that time. And that is, if they can turn him into a good starter, that's where he has the most value. And so they're going to do everything they can to make that happen.
I'm seeing shifting gears, Empire Jeff TV in the chat. You guys probably know Empire Jeff does a lot of really cool things on the Instagram, and has a YouTube channel as well. I Bleav has a YouTube channel, but that one, the bucket item, same. I would hope to get to Dugout Club at some point in the next season or two. But he had also talked about Sunday Night Baseball being a dud. Was that it moved to Peacock for this year, right? Is that the thing?
Yeah,
I guess technically because it's part of the NBC. And
NBC Peacock, yeah. I don't know. I took a day off from baseball today. The Dodgers aren't playing. I have a day off from baseball today. So
yeah.
Other than talking about it for 3 hours on a podcast, we got a super sticker from Nicole Taylor.
3,
huh?
3 hour. Yeah, super sticker, 99-cent super sticker. Thank you very much, Nicole.
We just see the description, but apparently it's a sticker of a hot dog with ketchup.
Yeah,
which may start a fight.
Yeah, I mean that is one way to have your hot dog, and that's a fine way to have a hot dog.
Yeah, I've said it before. I said I'm a firm believer that hot dog toppings are a very personal choice, and no one should have any opinion on what a different person puts on their hot dogs. Or any food for that matter. Somebody likes a different food than you. That's great.
They're wrong, and they should be punished.
Absolutely.
It's the way I intended. EV Warrior, anyone regret not signing Murakami? That's of course Kevin's a pick to click for AL Rookie of the Year. He's having himself a nice start to his career for those White Sox. Munetaka Murakami. I don't even know what position he's playing, but good on them. I find that the Dodgers didn't sign him personally, but if he goes out and drops like a 50-60 homer season, then I'm going to probably be a little more annoyed.
Yeah, and he's another guy who his strikeout rate has been much better than expected so far. So it is only a few games, but he's homered in all 3 games and has not struck out very much yet. And so that was the big concern with him. So somebody said earlier in the chat, I think I started, let's see if I can find it. Alexander Rose. Ohtani fixed Murakami in that one at bat.
Yeah.
During the WBC, the cameras caught Ohtani talking to him, giving him tips in the dugout, and then Murakami hit a home run in his next at bat. Yeah, you know what? That's kind of joking, but also if one of the best hitters in the world gives you advice and it works, that's got to build your confidence quite a bit,
I would definitely listen to Shohei Ohtani when it comes to pitching and hitting, probably more so the hitting.
I meant to pop this one up earlier. Enigma said Shohei's poop was not on my bingo card.
Yeah, I couldn't find a way to fit Shohei's poop back into the conversation, but there it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Now it's on your bingo card twice. If you're going for
Bingo was
blackout
his.
or brownout or whatever.
You know what? It's worth it.
You
Two
hit
other
the wrong
things
button there, my friend. That
no,
one,
because it
that
was a
deserved.
brownout and it was poop.
I know, but that deserved booze, not applause.
Nah. We love poop humor here. The other two things I think we have not talked about, and I know we haven't talked about on the channel this week are Kirsch officially back with the club as a special assistant, and Jason Hayward officially retiring. Maybe he's somebody. He seems like somebody who would come back to this club in some capacity, even though he has his own things going on. Like they love Jay Hay. He meant a lot to this ball club in 2024, up to the point where it hurt really. Well, was it 23? 23, and then in 2024, and then he gets DFA'd, and that was a really really tough time for this team. But I don't know. You think Jay Hay could be back in some capacity?
If he wants to be, I mean, he's a very smart guy, very cerebral baseball player, and so he does strike me as the kind of guy who could have value in some sort of front office or coaching capacity or whatever. I feel like some of these guys who made plenty of money in their careers and everything aren't really going to be interested in coaching. And like, hey, I'm retired now. Let's get back on the road trips and everything. And
and that's where you get that special assistant role, where it's just kind of show up and
and if I
show up
remember
spring
right,
training and have vibes.
yeah, if I remember right, Jay Hay's family is a little younger. Like I feel like because he and Freddie were best friends, and I feel like Freddie started having kids before Jay Hay did. So I would guess that he is probably looking forward to some full-time dad kind of stuff, kind of like Kirsch. But Kirsch, where it's like, hey, yeah, I can do some stuff with NBC once a week, and I can, get on a call with the front office when they need me to, or when they want my input on something, or I can just show up and, be a pretty face and get people excited, whatever. Something that's not a full-time job. I can see that appealing to Jay Hay just like it did to Kershaw.
Yeah, and you can even throw in Chase Utley, who took that role, and then he spent a few years abroad, living in like Dubai or something like that. I forget exactly where, but now he's back, and you saw him a lot at spring training. You're seeing him around with the club at Dodger Stadium a little bit more. The important thing is, when we had Andrew on Dodgers territory, I was starting another question, and we had just asked him about Kirsch, and he stopped me to interrupt about, like, Kirsch, by the way, that was a shameless plug. Make sure we want you back in some capacity. This is me paraphrasing, but he comes back to Dodger Stadium for a day and a half, and they got it all figured out that quick. We love to see that.
And really, it was obviously going to happen at some point. Like, Kershaw is a Dodger for life, and they were going to find a way to make that official. You look at all the former guys who are getting paid by the Dodgers in some capacity right now, just to show up in glad hand once in a while. Steve Garvey and Ron Say, and a bunch of guys from my childhood like that.
Not Say anymore. Talked to him about that a few years ago. Like, for some reason they kind of dissolved that relationship. I don't think it's that. They just went in a different direction, which is very weird. So he's not really a part of that like alumni group they send out to things. And I thought that's a really dumb move on their part, because like the Penguin is a lot better than you want to see the Penguin rather than Billy Ashley, in my humble opinion.
Billy Ashley.
Respectfully, I would rather see the Penguin.
Who would you rather see, Billy Ashley or Jerry Sands, aka the Billy Ashley of a new generation?
Dodgers legend. Hey man, that was a huge part of that trade, the Agon trade.
I appreciate
J-Lo.
You not calling it the Nick Punto trade.
No, that's the Jerry Sands trade. Yeah. That's clearly who they wanted. There's another one I saw. Jamie Jaime in the chat. Gonzalez, Justin Turner would be a better pickup as a coach or advisor. Why not both? JT is still hoping he could play. Yeah, I don't see it happening at this point.
I don't either, unless 9 misfortunes. If 9 different teams have a first baseman or third baseman get hurt, then maybe one of them signs JT. But yeah, I think JT's probably done. I would be very surprised if JT doesn't end up back with the Dodgers after his playing career is done. It just makes too much sense from all sides, and there's been too much interest shown by all sides for it to not happen. It's just a question of when.
Yeah.
I see Harry in the chat doesn't like Tatiana Tate doing the live trumpet playing for Edwin Diaz's entrance. I think it's cool. I don't think it's their plan to do it for the full season. And I think maybe that opening series was enough. I think now you go to just the recording. But I thought it was cool. And
until actual Timmy Trumpet shows up.
Yeah. If you get real Timmy Trumpet there, that would be great. The Dodgers, I think, have done it live more times than the Mets did, because the Mets had Timmy Trumpet one time. And the Dodgers have had it live by Tatiana Tate twice now. So we're number one. We're number one. I loved the mini trumpets in the bullpen. The bullpen electric. Catchers playing their trumpets along with, and they can do that just as well to the recording. I think the Dodgers probably need to hand out mini trumpets at the games or something so that the fans can all be playing along. You know
that giveaway is coming.
Yeah.
There's still plenty of home games without a giveaway. It's just how do you who makes a good cheap enough plastic trumpet to give out to,
and that doesn't actually make noise, because the last thing we need is 53,000 people actually making trumpet noises. I always thought they should have done back when David Peralta was on the team and they did their freight train thing at second base. When I was at BYU had a linebacker named Rob Morris, and his nickname was the Freight Train. And they actually handed out those little wooden train whistles to the fans. And so whenever Rob Morris made a tackle, we would all blow our freight train whistles. And I thought that would be cool when Peralta was on the team. They never did that. But
the problem is small baby children go to more big league games than a BYU game. And they're just going to be going,
you're not familiar with the BYU student body. There are a lot of babies
100%.
At BYU.
Either way, there's probably not 53,000 divided by babies, an amount of babies. I don't know.
I think we get married young and start having kids, man.
I think children and babies should be banned from baseball games. This only comes after going to the Savannah Bananas game, which the thing is designed for babies.
Yeah. How was it?
Children.
Was it fun?
It was cool. It was different. If you're going for baseball, definitely don't go for baseball, because that's like 16th on the list of importance there. But if you are younger and have kids, or the shortest attention span in the history of the universe, you're really going to enjoy it. There's just always, and this is how I equate it. It's just always just something happening constantly, whether it's noises or people dancing or the banana going up in the outfield, which was hilarious, by the way. At some point, he also became a fat banana. Again, it was cool. It was fun. We had banger seats. I bought the hat. I love the hat. It was a good time to go with friends or family and all that. But if you're going for baseball, don't expect baseball.
Yeah. I saw a Savannah Bananas video on social media a couple months ago when they were down at Petco Park, and Derek Huff from Dancing with the Stars was out there in his Bananas uniform and dancing, and he was dancing with this female dancer. I'm like, she looks so familiar, but I don't watch Dancing with the Stars. I haven't watched, like, I used to watch So You Think You Can Dance, but that was like 15 years ago. And so I'm like, why would I recognize this dancer? And then I realized, oh, she's my neighbor. I've known her since she was 9. I just didn't recognize her. So it was,
what a guy.
Yeah.
Again, it was a good time. I think that guy, well, if he plays on the team, then he was there. They didn't have any former Angels players. And, I have that be, I'm calling that more of an indictment on Artie and the organization rather than, Jesse and the Bananas, because every other ballpark, they have somebody.
Yeah, get Scott Spezio out there.
Isn't he like a drug addict now?
Wasn't he a drug addict then? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or did he just look like one?
He definitely looked like one. Oh, that was a fun team. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I also we went with one of the guys is an Angels fan who uh, I love to mercilessly, there it is,
There you go.
make fun of about his Angels fandom, and then he tries to talk crap about the Dodgers in the dumbest ways possible. But um, all of the things I was like, man, you kind of just run out of division titles, like the dugout atop the dugout club. There's writing, and it just ends at 2014. There's one whole exhibit for their one whole World Series title and all that, and yeah,
Yeah.
they just kind of stopped making memories over there in Anaheim.
Yep. It's rough
Raul,
though
too
when they
soon,
can never
Raul.
get any generational players. You know.
Yeah,
Oh,
they never had anybody good
yeah.
there. Yeah. Nobody good. I'm very happy that Michael is off to a nice start to his season. I would love to see him be back. And also a couple of things I just realized as we are this deep into the show. We didn't tell anybody about IQBar.
Should we do that right now?
Yeah, sure. I'll tell people about it in the past.
All right. Let's see if past Clint can tell us about IQBar.
Today's episode is brought to you by IQBar, our exclusive snack, hydration, and coffee sponsor. IQBar has protein bars. The IQ Mix is a hydration mix you add to your water. And IQ Joe is a mushroom coffee. They're all a delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel that you will need to win your day. Of course, you have the Ultimate Sampler Pack. I have one in my hands right now. You're going to see in just a second. It's a great way to try all of the IQBar products and flavors. You get 9 IQ bars, 8 IQ Mix sticks, and 4 IQ Joe sticks. IQ Mix is really cool. It's a zero sugar drink mix that hydrates you. It has the electrolytes. It improves your mood. It boosts clarity. And maybe it has what plants crave. I don't know, but it has what I crave. I've tried them all. I like them. I love them. And I need to get myself more. To survive the long season ahead of us right now. Maybe I'll use this promo code as well. Right now, IQBar is offering a special for our listeners, 20% off all IQBar products. That does include that Ultimate Sampler Pack. You also get free shipping with it. You get 20% off by texting MLB to 64,000. That is MLB to 64000. Message and data rates may apply. Again, free shipping. Do check it out. Thank you for supporting the sponsors that support us here at All Dodgers. We probably should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah, we probably should have.
Yeah, you know. Hey, no, I don't want to get demonetized.
Right,
I don't want to get demonetized.
we only did like 4 seconds. Tim McGraw likes it and loves it and wants some more of it. Clint.
Yeah, but you know who also loves it? UMG.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they like their money. Anyways, what do you got?
We got another super chat from Nicole Taylor, $4.99. Jeff, all the love, man, but do not want to go to a Dodger game with a bunch of real trumpets near me. Spare our ears and headache, maybe a stuffed one. That's what I said. It cannot make noise. I'm talking a little plastic replica trumpet so you can do the motions and pretend you're playing along. But yeah, if it makes any noise at all, I'm out. That's a no for me.
I didn't. I think we did talk maybe yesterday about the whole Tatiana Tate thing. I think it's cool as well. Maybe she's not hitting every note perfectly, but also she's playing it live.
I think she sounds great. You know, like one of
and live music is supposed to be raw. It's not supposed to be the exact recording. Let her, do it her own damn way.
There's a reason people go to concerts when you could just buy the CD, or if you're not 800 years old like me, you could just,
that's
stream the music because it's fun to hear it done live. And some of that is that it sounds a little bit different. It sounds a little bit less perfect, less polished, and I think that's great. I have nothing but positive to say about her performances.
I love the fact that you also somehow got the 8-track made of that Narco song. Because you see, Jeff.
Yeah.
Elderly.
Hey, we've come back around on vinyl, which was even pre 8-track. Like it probably is available on vinyl. And so we just need to get it on gramophone next.
By the way, I was going to ask you during the show if I should do this, and then I wanted to make sure that the email was available, and then it just said, okay, you have this email now. So we have callalldodgers@gmail.com, because apparently somebody has alldodgers@gmail.com. So call All Dodgers for your voice messages this season.
Okay.
What are you going to do? You're going to call all Dodgers.
Just don't get confused by the fact that you're emailing an address that says call, but callalldodgers@gmail.com. You can record your voice memos, send them there. Clint and I will both have access to that email address. And so we will both get the emails and we can, I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be fun having more voicemails integrated throughout the shows. I guess we didn't address language. Saturday will still be the only day. If your voicemail has F-bombs in it, Saturday is the only day that it will possibly be played on the show. And even then, it's no guarantee. So do with that information what you will. So I know that some people feel
Diane says Richie is literally crying right now. I would not be shocked if Richie already called Diane during the show. Yeah. Definitely not be shocked. And on that note, I'm probably going to turn my phone off for the night so I can enjoy my Sunday.
The other nice thing about voice memos is you can write down what you want to say. And if it doesn't come out right, you just start over. And you don't have to email it to callalldodgers@gmail.com until you have the perfect 45 seconds. And then we're good to go.
Mm-hmm. Jay White came, so you're not getting rid of Saturday? No, Saturday's going to be there every week.
We don't run the calendar. Gregory put Saturday there, and we're going to leave it. Was that who was the Gregorian calendar? Is that what we use?
Yeah, that's the type of thing I know.
Who was it? Pope Gregory? Is that who the Gregorian calendar is named after?
This is where we're at. We'll give him 2 more minutes, and then
back in 2020, when I did a podcast with my brother, he used to get so annoyed when I would get to the Wikipedia portion of the show. He's the Gregorian calendar is the calendar used in most parts of the world. It went into effect in October 1582, issued by Pope Gregory VIII. So, yeah, nailed it.
Big time, Greg. Hey,
big time Pope fan here.
We got an in-show voicemail from Alexander Rose apparently about the trumpets. You want me to send it to you?
Yeah,
I can do that. Look at that, the first ever new voicemail. Well, it's a voicemail. It's not a memo, but even so, right. let's make sure the transcription looks clean.
Okay.
So
I'm downloading it now, maybe.
Whoa. And then we'll sign off and give way to our friends over at Dodger Blue, even though they wouldn't do the same for us. Maybe.
Yep. Yeah, but
we like Speaks. He's got Fabian on tonight, so it's a good show over there. They should have a good one.
All right,
but you had a better time here.
I'm gonna try to play this voicemail and see how it goes.
Hi. While we're on the topic of talking about the trumpets, I don't remember her name, whether it's Tina Trumpets or not. I'm probably butchering it as I speak. But nonetheless, honestly, I think she's done a fine job to be able to perform in that many people for the very first time. And that's not easy. I'm not no musician at all. I took choir and violin, but I sucked back then in high school. Anyways, I think she's doing a tremendous job, and I just kind of wanted to get off of first voicemail talking about a singular topic type thing, get that thing rolling. But I think she's doing a fine job. I may think there needs to be a little tweaking here with the trumpets, but overall, we have a whole season to let them. That has nothing to do with the game, but nonetheless, I think she's doing a good job. Okay, bye.
And the fact that it's one thing too, not the voicemail, but we appreciate this one thing. But it's like this is just additive to everything. And it's also a good distraction from the fact that they don't have the ribbon boards up, and they are very embarrassed about that. Yeah, because they were delayed in shipping.
And we love the voicemail, even though Tatiana Tate, Tina Trumpets,
I like Tina Trumpets, if I'm being honest.
I think she should change her name to Tina Trumpets.
Well, she had a drug problem in the 80s and 90s, right?
And got beat up by her husband, Ike?
Yeah. It's all trumpeters do.
Yeah. To be clear, Tatiana Tate did not have a drug problem. I doubt she was alive in the 80s. She appears to be in her 20s. Clint was making a Tina Turner joke.
Yes.
Because Clint is old.
You don't have to explain it. Let people try to cancel me.
I just wanted to make sure that Tatiana Tate wasn't being slandered on this show.
Alexander says I should have fact checked the name. No, honestly, it's better because now we have a new name. It's
Tina Trumpets and Ron Roveltelt. And
it's my dog, Tina Trumpets, though.
Who else? Speaking of Ron Roveltelt, by the way, I assume you saw the Mets DFA'd him, and unfortunately, they did it right on timing. He did clear waivers. They outrighted him, so the Mets were able to do what the Dodgers wanted to do, which was DFA him and have him slip through waivers so they could keep him, but not have him on the 40-man roster. That's where he is now. He will be playing AAA for the Mets, and
very rude.
It is what it is.
Yep.
Who's the other player that we have? Oh, that's right, Mickey Ciani. I knew we had one more that we just have our own name for him.
Yeah.
Do you notice the Dodgers pronunciation guide specifically says Michael, not Mike?
Yeah.
Didn't say anything about Mickey.
Did not. It did not.
Raul mentions Tina Trumpet's husband, Ike Trumpets. I like that.
Oh, God. All right, we should probably sign off.
Yep. Go check out over on Dodger Blue, Spiegel and them with Fabian. Check it out. But most importantly, keep checking this out. We will be back tomorrow after the game, right?
Right after the game, we'll be live here. All Dodgers. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell.
Yeah, our goal is to hit go live as soon as Kirsten is done interviewing whichever Dodger she's interviewing on the field. Then we are live. And if the Dodgers happen to lose, so she's not doing an interview, then as soon as the last for being here. Thank you to all of you in the chat. We had a good group tonight.
And for that, by the way, don't forget. If Roki does something during the game you didn't like, leave that voicemail.
Or that you did like. Dodgers. We don't have to be pessimistic.
I mean, people like overreacting more.
You can
You see more negative.
Imagine how much you could overreact to Roki having a good outing. So
he's all the way Cy Young contender. I can see the thumbnail now.
Thanks for the super chats. Thanks to the mods in the chat. Thank you to the Bleav Network for having us. Thank you to FanDuel. Thank you to IQBar. Thank you to Clint for just being so doggone handsome. Thanks to all of you. And with all that said, the only thing left to say is bye.